Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Hello there. So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
Welcome, everybody, to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. Man, we are doing part 2 today. All right. It's our second podcast for the day. We're so glad that you're joining us because we are talking Moon Knight. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with my good friend, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom land.
All right. Well, guys, if you missed it, we just had an hour and a half blast with three geeky dads going back over again or revisiting, the Batman. And we changed our rating system in that episode. So we are continuing to we've changed it a little bit. Rather than being 5 out of 5, we're going out of 10.
Yep.
And for some of us, it helps us with our math. Just saying.
Was that for three geeky dads?
I'll never tell.
The three geeky dads who actually have 4 geeky dads, so they're really bad at math. I love that. I actually love that. That is so funny.
Right. We had an absolute great time with them as always, and do encourage you to check out their podcast, 3geekydads.com. 3D. Brian is with us. Hey, Brian, great to have you. He said it's a pleasure being part of the show. Yes. So anyway,
I agree. Math is hard.
Yeah. So we really love those guys. We always have a great time, and our cheeks hurt. My cheeks are still hurting a little bit. By the time we got to the end of the show, we were really hooping and hollering. So please check them out. We had a great time with them, but that was our first time changing our system of doing our scoring. So, and I like it. I think it's fine. I grew up doing A, B, C, D. You know,
Wait, you grew up?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No.
Oh, okay.
So with that, we're going to talk about Moon Knight today, and we're going to give our score, our new scoring system. Yay! And that was for listener Josh. Had made that recommendation, and I just want to give him kudos. I think he's right about that. So
thank you, Josh.
So see, we listen to you guys, to the listeners. Thank you. Appreciate it. So then the next, so we're going to give our rating and then talk about this episode. And I don't know about you, Mike, but this was an interesting episode, and I think it ranks as one of my top episodes for this series.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I did not expect that at all.
Because of the storytelling. I didn't like the beginning of it. I was like, oh gosh, give us some answers for crying out loud. You know, but they did.
I'm actually with you on the give us some answers, because now we're running into 3 episodes, and it's like, okay, all right. I like the, I don't mind the carryover, but come on, we're dragging this out 3 episodes, and you've only got 1 more episode.
Yeah.
So that kind of hurt it for me a little bit.
Right. Right. I'll agree. I guess we should give our scores, and then we're getting into it already. Listen to us. We're all excited, everybody. Thanks for joining us. All right. So scoring wise, our out of 10, what would you like to give this one? Out of hippopotamuses?
Oh, I like that. I like the hippopotamus. It's okay. We'll go
Okay.
with that.
All right.
Want a
I
hippopotamus for Christmas. Oh, sorry.
I'll give this one a good, an easy 8 out of 10 hippopotami.
Hippopotami. Um, oh, this is tough. I'm gonna go 7. Only
Okay.
because, like I said, I'm getting a little frustrated. Give us Jake already. I'm tired of this.
Ooh, okay, okay.
We've
Ooh,
we've
that's a good point.
we've
Mhm,
gotten hints
mhm.
of this since what, episode 3, really. Or was it 2 actually? I don't know. Whenever
The
when
knife. What did you do, Steven?
right,
You know,
right.
kind of a thing. Or what did you do, Mark? Steven said, "What did you
Oh,
do,
no,
Mark?"
no. Mark said it to Steven. Mark did say,
Okay.
and Steven said, "I didn't do that," which we know that Steven's personality wouldn't have done that.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
but there's a lot of things that were great in this episode that I really did enjoy. I like the backstory on Mark and his childhood and
Yes.
learning that, man, his mom, oh my gosh. Wow, I got issues with her.
Right. Right.
I really wanted to go off on her. Wow.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
so yeah, I like that aspect of it. I thought that was really good actually.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I want some answers. Let's move this thing along. Come on. Move.
Yeah, when the episode
To quote,
started.
to quote the stormtrooper from Star Wars, move along. Move along.
That's great. We should add that as a soundbite. Move
Thought
along,
I
move
had it,
along.
but anyway, go ahead.
No, I was like, "Oh, man," I thought we would be out of the psych ward,
Oh
or
wait,
we'd move
wait.
along.
Move along. Move along.
I do have it.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, I thought we would totally be out of the psych ward, and I was, I was, I did like how they ended up using the psych ward in the aspect of memories, or let's go to different parts of our past and bring up some of the past, and we did get to see where, um, we finally got to see where he became Moon Knight. So the
Right.
way they presented the backstory, I thought was clever using it, but I was just like, let's keep going. I was, knowing that this was the 5th episode and there's only going to be one more. You're right. We didn't get anything about Jake, and I thought for sure they would go back and open up
Right.
Jake.
And
And
now you got one episode to tell the story of Jake and or at least introduce Jake and then and wrap up this season. So
Mhm.
man, I'm like,
I
that's a
don't think
lot.
we're going to get Jake. I don't think
And
we're going to get him.
I was being told that this next episode is not a long episode either. So
I've
it's like,
heard that.
I don't know. That lowers the score for me. I would have scored it higher had we gotten Jake and learned about him. I think I would have scored it higher. But like I said, it's not to
Mhm.
say that I don't like this episode. I'm just slightly frustrated with that. That's all.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
But and
Well, I even began to wonder about Jake from the point of view of, okay, we got to balance the scales. Oh, we can't get them balanced. Get in there and get them balanced. And I'm
yeah,
like, okay, okay, we're
that's
gonna
what
get
I was
Jake,
thinking.
and and no, and then, well,
But that's when we get the story of Mark and the creation of
of
Stephen
Steven.
Grant, which was great.
Mhm.
I
Which was
like
really
that.
good.
Yeah,
It was heavy. My wife Kelly said, "This is a heavy episode,"
yeah, I agree.
and she's right. Yeah, it
Well,
was a
with the whole, we discover that Mark accidentally killed his brother.
that was
Um,
tough.
that
Yeah.
was tough. And then his mother's reaction. It was like,
Yep.
dude, okay, I get it. You lost your son. I totally get it. But
Mhm.
Mark is a dumb kid. He makes mistakes, At some point you have to
Mhm.
forgive him, and that
Mhm.
oh man, that killed me. That really killed
It
me.
was tough,
I was
you
like
know?
I kept going, "Man, she's a real bitch."
Oh, there goes the E. Hey, everybody, there's the E.
I'm sorry.
I That's all right. No, I tell you, the way they handled the heaviness of the episode was good. They did just enough to know what happened to the brother without showing you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they did just enough about the mom being abusive without showing you. And they made that part of it. That was the whole thing. When Mark said, "That's the whole point of you." And he says, and Steven was like, "So you did make me up. I thought I was the original."
Yes, yes. Agreed, yeah.
And
Um,
handling that, I thought, okay, they gave you enough to give you story, but they didn't go over the edge showing you, which I appreciated. I appreciated that aspect of it. And the storytelling aspect of how the personality, how he quote unquote created Dr. Stephen Grant. Or there I go saying doctor again. I keep saying doctor. How many times, man? If we were drinking every time I said doctor, whoo, man. Um, but I, the way they did the storytelling with this episode was really good. The acting by Oscar Isaac for this episode was just phenomenal.
oh, he's
So
great. He
so
was great.
much range, so much ability. Yes, and so I got to tell you my favorite scene.
Okay.
In relation to that. My favorite scene was they're on the boat and she comes out, "I'm sorry, but your scales aren't balanced yet," kind of a thing. "I'm sorry, the Duat's going to claim you," kind of a thing. And here come all the soldiers. And you realize that these are people that he has killed, that Mark has
Yes.
killed.
Yep.
I like that. They introduced them earlier. And I thought they did a nice job of saying, Steve was like, "You remember all these guys?" And he says, "You try taking someone's life."
Right.
Being part of the fist of vengeance. And I thought, that's nice. That's really well done.
Yeah.
So then at the end, so there's all these, mummies or sand people coming out. I don't know how else to describe them, coming out.
Sure.
But then it looks like they're about to take Mark overboard. And Steven's like, "Well, if I'm you,
Yes.
I've got this too." And I'm like, "Whoa, open up the
And
can."
yeah, and Steven just starts kicking butt. Yeah.
He does.
I
Yeah.
I like that too. That was probably my favorite point in the show in this episode too.
Mhm.
Just seeing Steven come into his own and realizing, well, wait a minute, if I'm you, I have the same abilities you have, and
Mhm.
just kind of
Mhm.
unlocking his mind and going, yeah, just letting it go, and yeah,
Right?
that was. But then he gets falls off the boat, and
Oh, yeah.
oh
David Mark, he grabs that, body or grabs that mummy that just jumped over the thing and then all of a sudden starts falling over. And then you're
right,
like, "Oh," and even both Kelly and I were like, "Oh
I know
no."
it
And it was
kills you.
just heart-wrenching to see Mark really caring for Steven. But Steven had been an incredible caregiver, for lack of a better term. Remember when they're out on the street and he sees the part where Steven comes back, he's Mark is crying and weeping outside of, their home, their childhood home, and then all of a sudden Steven takes over. But then Steven and Mark are talking, and Steven said, "It's not your fault." He was
Yeah,
like, "It's not your fault." I'm like, "Oh, how cool." It's almost like a buddy cop movie. It's becoming a buddy cop movie where they're interacting with each other now and supportive of one another. And then you see that in the fight, and then he goes over, and it made that scene of being swallowed, Steven being swallowed up by the sand or becoming sand, that much more heart wrenching because they had grown to appreciate each other. And maybe that's what it meant by then they balance the scales.
right. Yeah. Well, I think balancing the scales had to do with him reconciling with the fact that he he killed his brother, and
Mm-hmm.
that he was dealing with the emotional scars coming from the abuse of his mother. I think that was the whole idea of which I was with you. I was totally with you when you said that you thought the balancing of the scales meant that Jake had to come along and it had to be the three hearts. And
Mhm.
I totally thought the same thing because I was like, okay, we're going to
Mhm.
meet Jake,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we go into the childhood stories of what happened.
Mhm.
Um, you know, which when you said that, I was thinking I kind of want to rewatch episode 1 now because I don't remember where we're introduced to Steven. I want to say, aren't we introduced to Steven on that same street where we see Mark looking at his father? Uh, isn't that where we're introduced to Steven at? And then Steven's on the phone with
Um,
his he's leaving a message for his mother. So I'm wondering when we see Steven in episode 1, is that right after the funeral for his mother?
I don't know. That's a good point.
But
Well, I tell you
it
what,
just
that's
hit
our
me.
homework. Go back and see number 1.
I'm
The
gonna have to
beginning of number
rewatch
1.
number 1 now. Oh, wow.
Mhm.
It just struck me. I was like, "When do we pick up on Steven?" Because I think we pick up on him
Mhm.
right after the funeral. That's amazing.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
good writing there. That's I like that. That's cool.
Mhm.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
this episode was really good. Um, yeah, then they balance. Oh, those scales are balanced, and I guess Osiris. I loved it. Osiris is not going to like this, kind of a thing. I was like, okay, now which one? Which one? When they did the little pantheon action going on, which one was Osiris?
I
I was trying to remember, and I couldn't remember, kind of a thing. So,
Now, unfortunately, we find out it is true that Mark did kill Layla's father with
did
the
we?
archaeology. Yeah.
Did we? Or I see. I still thought it was Bushman or whoever he was saying.
Well, I mean,
I
I
thought he
guess
said he tried to save them all, and that's how he got shot, was because he was trying to defend all of them.
well, and he was on a job for Bushman, and Bushman, yeah, well, maybe you're right. Maybe Bushman was the one that actually killed him then. Huh. Which is it's interesting because that scene actually was ripped from the comic books. The original Moon Knight comic books, not the current run.
Okay.
It was actually taken from the originals because the whole Bushman storyline was in the originals. I think even Derek had from Three Geeky Dads had commented that he would have liked to seen Bushman in the. I think it was Derek saying that he would
Mhm.
have liked to seen Bushman in these episodes with Moon Knight.
Mhm.
So I don't know. That was quite interesting. It was interesting to see him talk to Khonshu for the first time and
Yes.
actually see the formation of Moon Knight. That was pretty
Mhm.
cool. I like that.
Mhm.
And it's
Uh,
similar to the comic book,
yeah.
similar to what happened in the comic book also.
I thought it was interesting from Steven. He goes, he was manipulating you from the very beginning.
Yep.
I was like,
Now that
"Ooh."
brings me to another question.
Sure.
Um, in the comic books, Mr. Knight and Moon Knight they're completely different. So
Okay.
Moon Knight is the avatar to Khonshu, and Mr. Knight actually wants to kill Khonshu. So yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
So if we haven't seen the end of Steven, because I'm questioning, was that the end of Steven, the Steven alternate, right, Megan? Or alter?
Alter.
Okay.
Alter. Okay.
I trying to get the correct terminology for
The
DID.
today's current terminology. I gotcha. Very nice. Very well done. Because I wasn't even thinking that. You're being so respectful.
Trying to be.
Right
Uh,
on. Right on. Alter.
so if we are seeing oh man, I keep having connectivity problems.
You're doing fine so far on my end. You seem good.
Yeah, but you're choppy to me. Sometimes I have a hard time hearing you.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so yeah, it just brings the question: if we have not seen the end of that altar, and Stephen is coming back, is Stephen moving into a the actual character role of Mr. Knight, where he wants to kill Khonshu, because it seems like they might be setting that up.
Ooh,
I mean,
like that.
he just had the realization that he can do the same things as Mark.
Mm-hmm.
He has the same abilities, and he has the Mr. Knight personality,
Mm-hmm.
and he's coming to a realization that he does not like Khonshu.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, how interesting. Ooh, wouldn't that be something? Because we see Mr. Knight with Steven, Steve, summon the suit. Summon the suit.
Summon the soup.
Right. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Yeah. And then he gets the suit. That was pretty good. What did he say in that episode? He goes, what did Mark say about the suit?
Oh, the suit. Why are we dressed up like a what was it, demented Colonel Sanders?
That's right.
I gotta say, I think he looked good in the suit. I liked it.
I like that suit. I like both of them.
I mean, yeah, I like the Moon Knight suit just a little bit better.
Right.
But I love the Moon Knight, the Mr. Knight suit. I think he looks cool.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't look like any other superhero out there. That's for sure.
Right. Right. Well, yeah, because did we really get anything with the suit this episode other than the part where he becomes Moon Knight? And you hear him say, it was kind of epic where he's like, and you become my Moon Knight. It's like, oh, that's cool. Okay, great introduction, great connection. I got it. Okay.
And I love Khonshu's voice. I really do love his voice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know it's I don't know. It almost has a James Earl Jones feel to it. It's just that gravitas. And
yeah. Oh,
right. I love it. I love his voice is awesome.
That actor, I like that actor, F. Murray Abraham. I do like him as an actor too. So it's kind of neat. It almost doesn't really sound like him. It sounds like they've done the whole, I like how you said that James Earl Jones, given that, Darth Vader-y kind of thing.
It kind of has that feel almost.
Mm-hmm.
Not that anybody comes close to the great James Earl Jones, but let's face it, his voice is amazing. So I love his voice. No, I don't think we've seen Mr. Knight in the last 2 episodes, actually.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't know either. Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, okay, but it was a weird premise. I will say that. As far as this whole the psych ward thing was for this episode, I enjoyed the whole memory aspect of it, but whether or not he was in the office or in the psych ward of the psych, you know what I'm saying? When he was talking to quote unquote Dr. Harrow, or when he was doing the memory stuff.
You got a doctor in there that's, well, he's
legit.
Not really a doctor,
but he is a doctor. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it was really confusing on what was going on. I mean, I was like, and almost just thought, well, just go with it. But I enjoyed the memory portions of it. So I understand it was kind of a path in the underworld or whatever he was doing. I forgot how the hippopotamus Taurit.
Well, it's almost like what I had said in our previous episode, that it's kind of this, his mind is doing this to try and keep him in place until Khonshu resurrects him, because he's dead. he
right.
it out. He actually is dead.
Right.
But I think that his mind is doing this to him, and he's kind of in a holding pattern almost.
Holding pattern. I like that. Yeah. Okay. But then at the very end, it's like, oh, you got this cool little music playing in the background. It almost sounds like a mariachi band kind of a thing. And he's in this. Was that the Field of Reeds? I'm gonna have to go back and look and see if those were reeds.
Oh, I don't know.
Thing, going to the Field of Reeds. And so I was like, oh, it's gonna stop here. I thought for sure we would get back to the world, and then then set up, oh, here's what's happening, kind of, okay, here we are. Here's what happened next. We know a little bit of what's going to happen next. I have no idea what's going to happen next week.
Getting set up for the big fight.
There wasn't any kind of, it was still kind of confusing. There was, I guess maybe for that episode, it really didn't feel any closure off the psych ward journey. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, I agree with you. It wasn't a lot of closure there, and it's a little frustrating because it's like, yeah, I want to be done with this.
Agreed. Yeah, I want to get back to the main story. I mean, obviously, the only hint we get of the main story is when Tara Wheat's like, you see all these lights like little comets falling into the sand, and she's like, she's like, what does she say? She says, "Oh, all these unbalanced souls or something, are from it." She's like, "This is evil." So you realize that, he's opened the little statue. Harrow has opened the statue, and it sounds like that Amit is now back on the scene. That's the only thing I can think of. So when we get back, he's already done everything, it's Amit. Now, I watched like the trailer for next week's episode, and there's that scene where you see Moon Knight and it looks like he's fighting. I was like, I can't tell if that's Harrow or if that's what Mike wants. He wants the avatar. He wants to see Amit's avatar.
That looks like Harrow to me.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying when I said I think it was last episode, because the episode before that I had mentioned I want to see the avatar of Amit. I want to see the actual avatar of Amit. I want to see Harrow get that suit, whatever that would look like, and I want to see that that avatar fight Moon Knight. But I saw that same scene last week, and I was just like, oh, I'm not gonna get it. So yeah, I think we're just seeing Arthur Harrow. I mean, I'm still gonna enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I said, yeah. I shouldn't have built that up in my head so big.
Right. So in other words, everybody, we're saying go in with low expectations for the finale, and you'll be pleasantly surprised, probably.
It is funny. We got a comment on Facebook yesterday. I think it was. I can't remember who commented.
It was a couple of days ago.
And boy, whoever that person was, they did not like. They don't like the new Marvel stuff. They've not been happy with it.
Oh, the Disney Plus Marvel series and stuff.
Yeah, he didn't like the Moon Knight series, and he said Loki was good, but beyond Loki, he thinks it went downhill. Yeah. I disagree with that. I enjoyed WandaVision. I thought WandaVision was great.
Right.
I loved Hawkeye. Hawkeye was fantastic.
I enjoyed Hawkeye and stuff. Yeah. So, one thing I appreciate about our show, especially when we're three geeky dads and all that, is, we each have our own opinions and ideas, and we accept them. Right. So it's not like a battle of, well, you can't be on my podcast no more. So.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah. I even commented, I've enjoyed the Marvel stuff so far. I think it's good. I said I really enjoyed WandaVision. I really enjoyed Hawkeye, and I'm really enjoying Moon Knight also. And I said, but to each his own. I get it. It may not be your cup of tea. I understand.
And WandaVision was, okay for me. I mean, we've had discussion.
You didn't like WandaVision as much as I did. So
no, I like the last two episodes. I think some of it is, and this is what as it connects to Moon Knight, is, they're trying to make it 6 episodes, or they're trying to make it, just tell a good story. Don't feel like you have to draw it all out, because I really felt like this whole Psych Ward series journey was drawn out.
I agree with you on this one. I do.
And all. And
I mean, you kind of alluded that you felt WandaVision was drawn out too, where I didn't feel that as much. With this, I get your frustration totally, because 3 episodes in the psych ward, it's like, yeah, come on, this needs to wrap up.
Right.
I think 3 was too long. I think 2 would have been fine. You know, they should have wrapped up the psych ward story in two episodes and been done with the story.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I have no issue with it being episodes, but when you hit 3, that's half of the season.
It's half the season. Yep.
Right. Half the season we're spending only in Mark's mind. And
Mhm.
I think that's too much time. So
How many fight sequences have we gotten? 2,
2.
I think. I think only 2.
Yeah, not
The
much.
bathroom scene
Yeah.
and then another
Well, we got the scene on
another
the well,
jackal.
we got yeah, we got the scene on the street with actually both Mr. Knight and Moon Knight.
Mhm.
And then we did get the the collector guy. We got that scene. And that actually we went back and forth between Mr. Knight and Moon Knight too, because he got the spears thrown.
Oh, who technically we thought was the Bushman. We
Yeah.
thought was that is, but I think they've changed it. But yeah, that's true. We did get that fight sequence there outside that special tomb where they got the star map kind of a thing.
But once we've hit the psych ward, we really haven't gotten any fight sequences.
Mm-mm.
So the action is taking a back seat.
Yeah, to the story, and I appreciate story. I'm big on story.
Oh,
But
I do too.
and you
I
gotta,
like
yeah. I was done with the psych ward by the time we hit the end of this one. I did like the aspect that we were on the boat, so that was different. And I thought, okay, we're on the boat, the underworld. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you felt like you were moving forward at that
Felt
point.
like it's moving forward at that point. Yeah,
And then we went back to the psych ward, and we went backwards.
right. Yeah, I was like, oh man, kind of a thing. So
I agree. I'm to the point. All right, let's move on.
well, I guess it gets to the point. I guess for me is it's going to be the same. I think for me for Kenobi too as well. 6-episode limited series, and I am looking forward to Kenobi. Don't get me wrong. Kenobi is my favorite Star Wars character. It really is.
I cannot wait.
I am excited, but I hope it's not a drawn out series. Give me good stuff, and I don't think it's going to be. I will say I think that didn't the individual who made the comment, and they were very gracious in their comment, didn't they say that they like the Star Wars stuff better than the Marvel stuff?
Yes, that's what he said. He thought that Star Wars was hitting on all cylinders, and Marvel was just,
yeah.
And I would argue that Star Wars hit on all cylinders. I mean, Star Wars has done good. Mandalorian was fantastic. Boba Fett was up and down though.
Mandalorian 2.5. Is that what you said?
Mandalorian 2.5. Right? Exactly. And don't get me wrong, I love Boba Fett. He's one of my all-time favorite Star Wars characters, and I did love the series too. But let's face it, it had some up and downs in it. It's not a perfect series. So I wouldn't say Star Wars hit on all cylinders. There are certain aspects that made my geeky heart very happy. I loved Luke Skywalker coming into it. The 3 geeky dads, they weren't fond of Luke coming into it as much, So we all got different opinions, That's it.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. We can still come together in the community of geekdom for the purpose of, having these conversations. And it's good to have this because I'll be open with you. When we had our conversations about WandaVision, I really appreciated some of your insights as far as like those beginning episodes. You helped me through some of that. So it's good to have those conversations.
I liked hearing your aspect of it because you didn't enjoy it as much as I did, and that fascinated me. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Well, why didn't you like it as much as I did? And I found that fascinating to hear your opinions on it. And
my 10-second skip button. Boop, boop, boop.
That still drives me crazy.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I hit the 10-second skip button while you were talking. Let me go back again.
Brendan and I still make fun of you when we're watching certain episodes. So that's
Right.
yep. Steven would be hitting the skip button here.
Well, I did enjoy this episode. It is one of my favorite episodes because of the story, because we were getting the background. They didn't do a whole. I mean, we got the backstory to him becoming Moon Knight, the backstory of his brother, the backstory of his mom, which those those in turn created the personalities, the alters, and I thought, okay, this is okay. I get this. Okay, it's
Right.
picking up steam, but it took. I mean, just to get to that point, it took some time to get there.
Sure.
They could have done the whole, all of the psych ward, all of it within one episode.
I agree.
They really could have.
Yeah.
And
I appreciate that the psych ward was that caveat to get you to the origin of Steven and telling the story of of Mark's mother and telling the story of the brother. I get it. I understand it, and it makes sense, and I like it. But I just think it's too long. You've spent too much of the series in this one spot, and it's like, yeah, we need to move this on. You've only got 6 episodes.
Let me ask you this, just about storytelling in TV series in general. You know, when you have a season of a TV series, it's 20 to 24 episodes or whatever. It seems like you've got 2 main parts, like the first half and a second half. You know, because you always have that break in between. There's always that during the Christmas break, there's
mid-season break, which I
mid-season cliffhanger, to get you to come back and stuff. But it's almost like each story that's told, each episode is its own encapsulated episode, and there happens to be weaving through it an overarching story.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like these miniseries are really just the overarching story, and each episode doesn't seem to have its own
you're
story.
Absolutely right. You could not go back and just watch one of these episodes later and get a full story out of it. There's no possible way. And that's true whether you're talking Moon Knight, Hawkeye, WandaVision, Boba Fett, or Mandalorian. Any of them. None of them you get a full encapsulated story in one episode. And I mean, I like it and I don't like it at the same time. Because it would be nice to be able to just go, I want to pick this episode and just watch this one and get one whole story out of this episode. But that seems the way it seems to be the way that we've moved as a society, to where everything has to be an overarching story. There's something to be said about old style television and getting those single stories in a single episode. There's something to be said. And I also remember, back in the day where everything was a single episode. And then when you got a cliffhanger episode, a 2-episode story, it was always something special, You can't really have that nowadays because it just doesn't exist. So,
right.
I don't know. There's something to be said about that. And
well, I guess part of me is just like, well, why make it a 4 to 6 part series when you can probably do it in 2 parts? Like do a movie, some of these could be a movie and be really, really good. They would be much more better in my all right. So here we go, everybody. We're drinking because I said much more better.
Nice. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Some things could be a movie versus being a series that seems to be drawn out.
True.
Now, I could see, we were talking about the Batman earlier being 3 hours. I could see Moon Knight being a good 3-hour movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It could be knocked down to 3 hours because, each episode is only like 40 some odd minutes. And you said you heard the finale was what, only 40 minutes?
I heard it was not very long. And I'm shocked by that. I'm like, okay, how are you going to wrap this up in less than 60 minutes?
Yeah, I guess he comes back. Oh my goodness. Harrow is what is it? How does he put it? I can't think of it all of a sudden. he's the scales. He's doing the scales with everybody, you know, kind of a thing. You're doing the scales too early. That's supposed to be after they're, you know, that's when they're in the doo-wop on the boat or something. But I don't know. But where he's, you know, everybody's scales are getting balanced, only to find out that really, like I said before, that's just a gimmick. He's just killing people. He's just, you know.
I don't disagree with that. I don't
I think
disagree with
that's
that
what
at
the
all.
story is. Because if Tara Wheat was saying, "Oh, this is pure evil," you know, kind of a thing, or "This is evil," I thought, yeah, he's just killing people indiscriminately, saying that. Oh, nah, yeah.
Yep. I agree. I agree.
Well, I mean, everyone has the potential to do bad. So I'm sorry, but wait, you're judging them on something they haven't even done yet. Which that was a great conversation at the table while he was having his lentil soup, you know, with Harrow. With Steven and Harrow. I thought that was great. Well, wait a minute. They haven't even, only because they have the potential to do it. Well, what about little kids? You know, I was like, "Oh, this is a good argument. I love
You
this."
mean you're in favor of killing little kids? I'm not
I'm
for
not
that.
down with that.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But
So
like
I
I
think
said,
that's, go ahead.
that kind of calls back to a old Doctor Who episode, or well, it's hard to say
Wait,
episode.
who? Doctor Who?
Yes,
Who?
Doctor Who.
No, just kidding.
Doctor Who.
It's an old joke.
And
Who is?
and it is Doctor, by the way. although his name is the Doctor, so
The Doctor.
anyway, there is a storyline of Doctor Who from the Fourth Doctor where the Time Lords send the Doctor to kill Davros before Davros can, because Davros is the creator of the Daleks, and they send him to kill Davros before he creates the Daleks. And the Doctor has a conundrum, because he's like, well, wait a minute, I'm committing genocide. Is this right? You know, I know he's the creator of this evil race, and they are going to do evil through the universe, and I could save thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives by destroying him. But do I have the right to basically commit genocide? So
Mm-hmm.
and that's more or less what I think. I think Steven's kind of saying the similar thing to Arthur. Do you really have that
Mm-hmm.
right to make that judgment
Mm-hmm.
before somebody actually does something wrong? Yeah, I think it's a good moral dilemma to look at, and that's one of the things I thought was really good about this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what really at the beginning of the next episode we're just going to be thrown in. If you're going to do it in 40 minutes, it's going to be like, okay, I'm back. We free Khonshu, take on do the big battle, there at the end, and then it's over. I don't know.
I almost think you have to. I don't know how you can tell what's left in under 60 minutes. This blows my mind, man.
Yeah.
I was expecting a real lead up in this episode into that, and I don't feel we really got that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. But we didn't get a good lead up. We got, oh, okay, he's done in the psych ward. Maybe we don't even know for sure yet.
Yeah,
we don't.
We have no idea if Khonshu's, because he even said, Khonshu told somebody to have Mark bring him back, and so we haven't even got, yeah.
Layla was going to try to work. So we haven't. How are we going to get that story?
Right. I mean, in order for Mark to come back to life, he needs Khonshu, and we don't have Khonshu back. So how does that happen? Oh man,
it's all Layla. It's all Layla that's got to do it, and I'm sure that's what she's doing, because she probably is so upset that he killed him and I was mean to him. I was so mean to him before he died. I can't live with that guilt or shame, so I'm gonna go free Khonshu. Well, how do you get to him? The only way to get to him is in the in between spaces. Right. He was tethered. What did they say? He was tethered to this place now, which was and the only way you get summoned there is from the avatars to get summoned, or How does he get free then?
That's interesting. Did they say that? Was that the words they used, that he's tethered?
That's what I thought I heard. Yeah, he was tethered to this place now.
That's interesting because Mark tethers himself to the bed. You know,
Right.
I could see Angie in the waiting room, and she's just
She's waving her arms and stuff, right?
she's like, I don't hear this. I don't hear this.
Yeah,
She hasn't watched this episode
She
yet.
hasn't watched it yet. Oh, it's a heavy episode. Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway, no, but Mark tethers himself to the bed, and then we get that moment. There was another moment. Oh, he was tethered to the wheelchair. So it's interesting that they use that terminology, that he's tethered. Huh. I don't know if I'm thinking too deep or not. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm
but
just
that's what we do, by golly.
Maybe I'm just going way too deep. Interesting. Very interesting.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know, but I did enjoy it. It's a solid 8 for me. I'm still sticking with that. It's still a solid 8, but I have to take away from the fact that, oh gosh, we're still here. We really don't know much about what's going on, or it's not making any kind of sense of him going back and forth, and maybe it's not meant to. I enjoyed more about the boat, being on the boat and all that stuff. That kind of gave me some momentum, for lack of a better term. The storytelling,
the going back and forth was to show us that he actually is dead, but his mind is trying to compensate, and still protect him, basically. That's what I take from it anyway. But again, I think this needs to be wrapped up. It should have been wrapped up in this episode. Technically, it should have been wrapped up in the last episode. But anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's good. Yep, I agree. So yeah, it was a good episode. Storytelling wise, it was one of my favorites because you got the backstory, and they didn't do a long, drawn out backstory. It was boom. Here's how it began. I thought it was good. They had already set it up before with some discussion, so I thought, okay. And seeing that become my moon knight, like, oh, okay, oh yeah, namesake. Oh, okay, let's go the story of my note, kind of a thing. So yeah, he's like,
Angie said, "What the hell?"
Right? She's watching the episode.
Angie, it broke my brain. It just broke my brain. It completely broke my brain. Oh, she said she just finished it. Cool.
Okay,
she's watching it while she's listening.
That's funny. Oh, that's funny. Wah, wah. Well, that means we gone longer than the episode. Wah, wah.
And we haven't even hit our mark yet.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's good. Well, yeah, Angie says she's so confused. Yeah, we're saying the same thing. There wasn't any kind of closure or momentum in this. We got the background story stuff, which was great. And maybe that's what it was meant to do.
Oh, I loved how he named Stephen the alternate alter, however you say that. Alter. I love how he named him after his favorite. I don't know if it's supposed to be a TV star or a movie star. The Stephen Grant, the
fearless Stephen Grant. Yes.
Yeah.
Adventurer. Yeah, I thought that was good.
And it's funny that the character is known as the Fearless, but the Stephen Alter, he's not fearless.
No. Right.
He's nothing close to fearless. He's more like the fearful.
Right.
Yes, Angie's right. It looked like a movie star, supposed to be Indiana Jones. Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
I totally
they could have called him Alabama Smith. That's not my joke. That's an old one. Oh goodness. Yeah. So, well, okay. Well, with that, we probably should wrap up because we're looking forward to next week. Now, next week, I won't be with you guys, and you are tag teaming with Brian from Three Geeky Dads.
Yes. So next week, excuse me, Diet Coke's talking back to me. Next week, we know that Doctor Strange does come out next week, and I am going to see it next week.
On the 6th.
But I don't want to get the review till you can see it. So we will wait till you come back, and we will finish up our road to the multiverse with that. But Brian from Three Geeky Dads is going to sit in as a co-star guest next week, and we are going to continue the road to multi-madness by covering the House of M, which is the Marvel story that is said to have inspired WandaVision. So I've read it about halfway through. Brian said that he's read it about a quarter of the way through. Both of us so far have liked what we've read. It's a little confusing too. Angie wants more confusing stuff. Read House of M. So we'll be covering that. And then the second week that you were not here, Brian's gonna come back, and we're gonna be joined with Zig of Nerdery and Murdery, and the three of us are gonna do a Doctor Who discussion.
Nice.
So that should be really good, and it's pretty appropriate because I've been a Doctor Who fan for years. Apparently Brian has been for years, and so is Zig. But all of our counterparts are not into so it works out really well. So you get a three-way between two geeks and three geeky dads and Nerdery and Murdery. So
and you can probably expect Angie and I to chime in.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's going to be a great episode. That's going to be a good episode. And so I'll be on the road coming back for that week. Yeah.
Yes. And then when you come back, it's Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. Right on.
We might have to go see it twice.
I know, we may have to.
Yeah, you'll have to shoot me a text once you finish watching it.
Okay. I'll shoot you a text and go, man, that sucked. We're canceling our episode. Man, that movie sucked.
We did all this work, all these episodes.
And the movie just sucked.
This whole multiverse stuff.
Save it for the podcast.
Well played, Angie.
That is one of our taglines. So
that is all right. Well, hey everybody, if you want to know more about the show and all the kind of stuff we have going on, check out our website at www.twogeeksmike.com. 2geeksmike.com. Number 2 GEEKSMIC.com. That's really our hub. We talk about being our hub for everything. You can get to our merch page where we've got all kinds of little t-shirts and fun swag, and we're actually doing more and more stuff, so we're kind of excited about that. Gerald is working on some stuff, right?
Oh yeah. Gerald is working on some stuff. We got to talk to Angie about that.
Yeah, so it's good, and so I'm excited for some of those. Also, you can go to our Ko-fi page, which is ko-fi.com/2geeks. You can actually search for us too, but that's where you just buy us a coffee, and where just kind of help support us. And we've got a couple of different tiers, but at any supporting tier, you get access to our special. You get the what's the word I'm trying to say? Discord server.
Yes.
And with that, you get access to chat with us through the Discord, which is pretty cool. And we do take those as priority. Any questions and stuff on there, we do take those as priority. So, and we're usually in the live discussion room. #live-discussion. And then, but we got different tiers. We've got all kinds of things that we're working on for that. But that just helps support us we're just using it to help pay for just doing the podcast. And all. And if you want to contact us, shoot us a line. You can at show SHOW at 2geeksmike.com. You can do that, or on our Facebook page as well. And
we do have the 2 Ko-fi only episodes that we did. First one being Logan's Run, and the second one was Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan. And coming in May, we're doing another one.
Right. I don't know if we've decided. Have we decided? We've got a huge list.
We threw out the ideas of either Planet of the Apes or Jason and the Argonauts. So
that's right. That's right.
I'm fine with either one of them. So
we should do like a vote. We should like have a vote on our Facebook page.
Oh,
people, which one would you like to see us do next? And I don't know how to do that. Do you know how to do that? I see our friend Andrew Staples does it all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. We could figure that out.
I'm sure I could help.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Megan. Oh, Angie says since it's her birthday month, we should do Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
So she's texting us on the thing. It's East. I'm like, it's East. What are you talking about? Then she goes,
I was thrown off by that too. I was like, what does that mean?
Autocorrect.
Now, Angie, we are talking about the original Planet of the Apes with Charles
Heston.
Damn dirty ape. I got a feeling we're going to be saying that a lot when we do that one.
Yep.
Get your hands off of me, you damn dirty ape. I love that line.
Yeah. Excuse me. Anyway. So, yeah. All right. Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We really love having you here with us, and thank you. And don't forget to subscribe. Let your friends know about us if you like it, or you have other geek friends that may enjoy it or actually may join the conversation when we do our live shows and stuff. We love that. One of the things we commented was we have loved getting to know the people in this geek podcast community. We've been making new friends, and we still want to continue to make new friends, and it's just been a blast. Yes, as Angie put it, join the geekdom.
Yes, I love it. All
right. It's all my friend.
All right. So with that said, over and out, and Excelsior. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Your one. Stop that. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the force be with you.